Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and welcome. Alright, as the title suggests here, we're going to take a look at setting up a working movie theater and maybe a camera to actually display something going on in the map that you can show in another location. So let's go to our test map. Alright, so let's play this in one player, selected viewport. So, still tweaking a few things on this project here, on getting it to show that only the person that is the host is going to be yellow. Other players are going to be white. Not sure why he's showing up this color here. And only the host or staff members will be able to go to this room here. And then you've got, of course, a chair you can sit down that nobody else can sit in a chair whenever you're sitting on it, so no big deal. And then you've got other rooms you can go to, which we'll probably use this one right here, room 2, as our theater room. Go back to the lobby, but if you go to room 1, this would be the combat arena, so your character changes. This is actually a mesh change instead of just a color change, like a material. So as you can see, and it works just fine for going in and out of the area. As soon as you leave the arena, you go back to your original color again. So what we're going to look at is we're going to go to room 2. Room 2 is now going to be our movie theater. So what we need to do is we need to make a place or a screen for our movies, and we need to figure out if we want to use a local video, or we can also set up another screen, we'll say over here or over here, that will display what's going on in the combat room. So we can put a camera somewhere like in the corner or overhead or whatever and display what's going on in this room on a display. So what are we going to need? Plain and simple, let's look at our gadgets. Got seating and teleports, no big deal. Let's make another new folder called Screens. And we're going to need a mesh. So I'm going to look in this folder here, even though I need to make the actual mesh itself. It could be anything. You can create it as a plane. I'm actually going to go ahead and I think I'm going to make a mesh out of BSP geometries. So we'll take that really quickly and let's grab a material. Let's go with brown material and drag the box in here so it comes out as that brown color. So let's actually, it doesn't really matter where I put it. I'm going to go ahead and put it at 0 and 0. Actually, it's going to put it over here, but whatever. So we need to change our coordinates for our sizing of the map, or the box itself. So we're going to go over here to the box shape, and I'm going to create this box as, normally I would say make it large, you can shrink it down. It's probably the best way to go. But I would say like 1920 by 1080. And that's wrong. So 1920 by, let's do 200. Let's take it back to where it was before. So let's pay attention to our actual coordinates here. We want to make the width of it and the Z height. So Z height is going to be 1080 and our Y axis is going to be 1920. Now that's really, really freaking huge. We don't really want it to be that big. So if we break that down and let's do what? It's 1280 by 720. It's going to be a little bit smaller. But what I want to do is actually take this and increase this by 20. So we'll do 1300 by 740. Why? Just why would you do that? Let's make the depth of it to 50. And yes, there is a reason why I'm making it this big. So what I'll do here is I will Control C and Control V, make a copy of it. Then I'm going to change it back to 1280 by 720. And I'm going to move back this a little bit. And we're going to make this 30 and subtractive. But before I do this, what I want to do is I want just one part of it. I don't want the whole thing here. Let's actually, we want it to be a black screen. So before we make that subtractive, we want this face right here to be black. Then we can make it subtractive again. Just get back to here and subtractive. Now as we slide it in here, it's going to give us a little bit of a lip there. Everything else is going to stay brown, but what we're also going to end up doing is clicking on this face and make sure it's black as well. We're going to grab both of those two, and what we're going to do is, in our brush settings, create static mesh, go to our assets, our meshes, call this our big screen, but we need to preempt that with SM for static mesh. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete it from the map because we're going to actually put that in a blueprint. But before we do that, we need to go into it and let's give it a basic, see, there we go, a little bit of a tweak here. We need to, this right here, this face is black. So we should be able to use that material to change it out. If not, we'll just add a plane inside of it. So I'm going to make that to 64 and 1. That's light map resolution to 64. Hit tab key 4 times and you'll get down to light map coordinate index. Set that to 1. And we need a basic collision for it. So I'm just going to look at my simple collision. I have none. So I'm going to add a collision of a simple box collision. It doesn't matter that you don't care that the player can get on that freaking lip. You don't want them interfering with it anyway. So our mesh is good to go. It has collision. It has the right color and everything else. So now we go into our screens. We can create a new blueprint. Actor. We'll call it BP underscore big screen. Go into it, come back out, go to our mesh, select our big screen, come back in here, and we are going to add a component, static mesh, and there's our big screen. You can see it put it in this way, but just zooming in and out. But if we look at it this way, we'll see the front of it. We can work with it this way. When I add the new component in for the other part, yeah, we'll see. We'll adjust it as we need to. But that's our big screen. Now, we can put that into our map, and let's go ahead and go to our blueprint, bring it in here, and as you can see, there it is. Now you can scale it whatever size you want. This could be a movie theater, so I want it a little bit larger. And yep, that's in room 2. So go over here, go to room 2, And there's our screen. We can hit the V key, go into first person view, and lovely. Now we need to put something on the screen. Well, what do we want to do here? I can take a video that I have on my hard drive. There's multiple ways you can go about this, okay? Now, you can take that, and I would say if you want to minimize your download size or your file size, you can, for your project, you can actually store this online and call it up that way, or you can put it in with your project so it's included in the download. There's a bunch of different ways you can do this. I'm going to look for a relatively small sized video really quickly. Not that I really have any, but that it's a QuickTime movie. I want a certain format as well. MP4 video seems to be the best overall, so that's what I'm going to use, an MP4. Alright, this was the blank intro, so I'm going to grab this, and for now I'm just going to drag it into my screens folder, and I just drag it in here. It says blank intro. I double click on it, and it shows it right there. Okay, well, what can you do with that? It's nothing. You just go into it, and that's just some weird file media source, and it links to the thing. I drug it in here and did it that way. What I would actually recommend doing is you go to your folders where your videos are, and you go into your project. Documents, My Documents, Unreal Projects, and this is this project. I'm going to go into the content folder, and I'm going to make a new folder here, and it's going to be called Movies. Alright, so I've got that folder now. I want to go back to where my actual file is, and I'm going to right click, drag it, drop it, and copy here. So you can see it's there. And it's my blank intro. It's a short little nothing video. So what I want to do here is now right click, and we want media. File media source. Okay, and this is my intro vid. Go in here and then go to your file path and go into your project, select it, and then go there. Hit save, and now we're going to need a media player. So let's create a media player, and video output media texture asset. This is not going to bring sound in. In fact, there's no sound in that video. So my big video, let's put the MP on the front. So it's MP for media player, and then big video. Then there's your media texture. There's nothing in it. But you can see with your media, you've got stream media source is how you would go about actually bringing it in from online and doing it that way. File media source is for the actual media you're going to use. You can create a media list and create channels. I've covered that in another video as well. So you have multiple videos you can go through. And if I go into my media player, only thing I've got is that, and I can double click on it, and that's it. That's all it does. There's no audio, there's nothing. That's probably not the best video that I could have chosen. Alright, so Let's go ahead and save all. Now, what we're going to have to do here is we got a media texture, and we can create material. Leave it at that. Go into it, and that's all we got. Now this is fine. If we try going into our screen here and look at our viewport, and if we look at our item, we have two materials. What would happen now if I just went down here and selected my... Where is my material? Right there. It's white. Why is it white? Huh. Weird. We'll get to fixing that here in just a second. But if we hit play, go to room 2, it's going to show it there, but why is there nothing there? Well, let's go ahead and create something here for that instead of that. If I delete that, force delete, oh no, it's going to cause problems. It's horrible. It reverted back to that. So you could actually bring that in here and drag that onto a material. What it usually does is whenever you drag it in here and do it like that, it automatically creates a material. I don't want to do that. But let's go in here and let's add a camera in. So we need a quick blueprint. And let's call this camera. Add a component of a camera. And then we want to add another component of, if you get 2, you're only going to have one option. Scene capture component 2D. Alright, so with that selected, you can then scroll down and you have texture target. Select that and select render target. And let's go ahead and tell it where to go. Put it in screens, and we want this to be our camera underscore RT. And save. So whatever this camera is looking at is going to be represented by this right here. And I'll go ahead and right click on that and create material. And save all. Now let's grab the camera because we need it to be in our scene here. Now you can see it pops up. We can actually see in this little preview window what the camera actually sees. So that'll help you with positioning your camera. I'm not worried about all that much. I just wanted to have something in here just to give us a video. Yeah, see, anytime you're making your rotations that way, get your camera angle down this way first, and then do your base rotation. That way you don't get that weird skewed angle. So that's good enough. And this is going to be live feed going into this camera. We don't see anything right now on there. As you can see, it shows up in the material. But when we come in here, we want this material, that black material, we want it to be that. So let's select that and go to here. And if we look, our camera RT material. Now, this is just one way of doing it. Okay. If we look, and look how terrible that is. It's way out of whack. So what we're going to have to do is adjust our material based on that. And it's probably not going to work the way that I want it to. So let's go ahead and put it back to black, and we'll do the next big thing here. We'll add a new component, which is a plane, and we need to rotate it 90 degrees. Plane is only like a two-dimensional object. You can only see through it on one side. And then we'll scale it up to kind of match here. And scale it up. Now, the material that we want for this one is going to be that camera RT. But look, it's freaking wrong. So now we need to rotate it and fix that. Not a big deal. We do want to make sure that it's recessed back in so that it actually looks like it's being projected onto the screen. There we go. And compost and save. Now if we come over here and pop into room 2, there we go. And this is actually going to be a live feed. So let's actually do play, 2 players, new pie window, and I'm going to take the host or the server, and I'm going to place him. As you can see, he appears to be white. We're going to go to room 1. Camera's invisible, but we know it's there. And we're going to go to this guy. We're going to go to room 2. And now you can see that's our other player right there on the map. So we can actually see live what's going on in that particular map by seeing that. Of course, he's red and he blends with the stairs. It's camouflage. Yay, and there's much rejoicing. You see, it even works with multiplayer, so it's not like it's a big deal. That's an easy way of doing that. If you're wanting to use that external video, I'm going to get rid of that one because there is no audio with it. Because the problem with audio is you're going to run into when you put that file media source in, you have to do the sound a different way. It used to be simple and used to have a little button you could, or a checkbox you could hit, and it would work. But that has been changed. Scrolling for videos off screen because there might be some videos on here I don't want you to see. Might be some clown porn on here. Oh, let's see here. What is that one? No. Yeah, I want to use this one. No, can't use that one. Let's see. That one's not going to be very good. That one's turned sideways. I don't know what I can use. Used this one before, or used these before. Me shooting G36, MP5, Uzi. Let's do the Uzi. Me like the Uzi. There's so many good automatic weapons out there in the world, but damn it, there's just something about the Uzi that's always been a favorite. So, copy that into the movie folder. So what I'll do is I'll go back to media, and we will look for file media source, and Uzi underscore vid. Go in here, check that, there, that, and save. Let's close these guys down for just a moment. Now if we go back into our media player, only video that we have is this guy. Is probably going to be loud, so pardon it. I've turned the audio down, but I guess it just totally did not matter what volume my my monitor here is set at. It just I cut it in really low, and it was still really freaking loud. Thank you, NVIDIA. I love you for screwing over my freaking audio settings every time a new game comes out and you want to make new drivers for it. Anyway, so we got that, and we could also do the same thing with that. If we created a material, no, I don't want it called that. Go into it, it's just black. I guess it doesn't really matter what it's called right now, but so I should delete that for just a moment, and let's grab a basic plain, raise it up so I can see it. 90 degrees, and can't just drag that directly in there. Let's go ahead and eat a dick. That's not what I'm trying to do. Fuck off. Alright, so that's there. Everything's good. Don't want it to shuffle or loop. That's fine. And if I just create a material from that, it's only showing the one right there. And that's actually the media texture. Okay. Create material from that, and yeah, that'll be good enough. I guess I could have put it right here in room 1 for demonstration purposes. See, it's still showing up as that white texture. It shows it right there. Okay. Just want to be a pain in my ass, don't you? Now, a lot of times what I'm actually doing here is... Alright, so no material on there at all. Drag that in there, and it should have created it automatically. I'm having some difficulties with Unreal Engine 4 today. Things that I do all the time, just say the hell with it, and they just don't want to work. But if I put that on there, works just fine. Because I need to run it as a render target, so you can't see playing from the backside. So let's actually do the same thing here. We need to actually put this in a blueprint. So let's actually take this and let's duplicate that one. And we will call this one our BP other screen. And viewport plane. Let's change that over. And once I created a material for that, that material screws up. I mean, it's there, and then turns white. Really? Alright, well, let's do it the other way. See, we did this one right here. We created the render target from that camera. And use this quite a bit. If you're trying to create a room set up for like watching combat going on in another area, this is great. Actually putting that video in there. And what's going to piss me off about it is that I've done this a dozen times and never had any problems. And now today, because I'm trying to do it on a stream, it's going to start showing its ass. So in here, we got that. We're playing. We got rid of that other material. And don't want to do the render target, because we're not using a camera. Source, no source path set. That's fine. Auto clear. Let's make sure that play on open. Media source. Alright, that will just come back to this then. It's pissing me off that it's not working. Yeah, everything should be normal. Clear color is black. I'm not changing that. Let's close our screen down for just a moment. That's fine. I mean, it's 1920 by 1080 versus our screen being 720, but that's not a big deal. Our in-game screen that we created. Method not streamed. Our media texture, right click, create material. And it shows up, starts off black, and then turns white. Shows up as our texture sample. As soon as they hit save, it kills it. Playing. See, it's still even showing there as black. Rotate it. Cut its size down to 0.25, 0.25, 0.25. 1/4 of the normal size. And I am just going to shove this over here back to room 1, or the lobby, excuse me. So now we walk in here and it's wider now. Why you do this to me? Well, so you would also need to add in a audio component. But I'm not really worried about adding in the audio component because at this point it's not going to do any good if it's not loading the damn video. Alright, well, I will come back to this. It's going to piss me off that something that normally works just fine, I'm forgetting a step somewhere. And you know what? Whatever. Let's just go ahead and throw this on here. Dump that. Go to plane. Go to our camera. Now, you can also use the, you create a widget. And if you create a widget, go in here and user interface, widget blueprint, and screen underscore W. Doesn't matter. Alright, so with this, make this an image, and whatever, I'm going to anchor this to full screen, and remove the anchors. You could actually tell it what size to be. It's not going to matter for right now. The brush that I want to use is, I'm going to dump that material, grab this texture right there, and actually I do need to make that back into a material. And I want that to be selected. Go to my brush and there. And it's going to say that it's not a material domain. Click on that and it will change it into there. Compile and save. And go back into that again and it usually breaks it. And then you reconnect it and save. And it broke the material even again. So, for look at that, it changed it back to white. Don't have a freaking clue. Not a damn clue. But inside your blueprint, you can actually add a component of a widget. And real-time widget class, go over here, select the screen widget. And it's showing that white color. Okay. Plain, let's put that back to black. Widget. Just gonna put that right in front of the screen. Gonna leave it there for now at that size, because we're gonna have to establish whether or not it needs to be rotated or not. So I'll just have to find out what I'm doing wrong with the freaking material. And yeah, I'll figure it out. Make another video. I'll put this up for Friday for fixing all this. But yeah, when you create a material, that's the process that I've used a dozen friggin' times. So actually, take a quick look here, and I'm sure with this project here, I've got 2 other projects that I've done this in, and had no problems with it. This one actually is going to be a camera. And not what I want. Yeah, there's a camera right there that is viewing what's going on right there. So if you hit play, look on that screen. It's kind of hard to see. The player's really small. You could probably change the field of view of the camera. And let's look at the camera here, and cam 1, look at the viewport, and the camera. Field of view is set to 90. Let's change it down to 40 and just see what it looks like. Still small, but it's actually a little bit bigger. Oh. Forgot that was my teleport system. But you can kind of see on there. 90. And it's not going to change it because the scene capture component is what's actually converting it into the render target and affecting everything else. So, yeah, I'll figure out what I did wrong with that one, because I know that in this project here, don't save. I actually had a video working. Yeah, right there. Gonna have to stay back on this one. Hopefully, won't I know I want to show that with the sound and everything else, but I know the video that's playing on here is one that will give me a copyright issue. So it works. It's playing on that TV screen right there. So what it's actually doing is go to Assets, Gadgets, TV Base, getting a media player reference right here. This variable type is media player, and that's how you're going to get your sound, or I'm sorry, your media source. Oh shit. Yeah, that's what I was doing wrong. I had the plane and I had the media sound component. Media sound component refers to the media player and my sound attenuation. So let me actually go back into that other project and fix that crapola. I've done this before and it works. So the plane itself is showing that material, and kiss my ass, I'm still looking at the other project. Media. And see, that one is working just fine. It shows that it's there. Temp video, my media player. Okay, those are actual playlist for my music, that's the only one that's video. I'm not going to play it again because I don't want to have the issue. We grab this, move this project out of the way, and don't exactly know why. Yep, disturb sound of silence. Yeah, I can't see that giving me a copyright issue. So let's go back to my assets and gadgets. Nope. Because this is the wrong friggin' project. Shit. Shit and fall back in it. It helps to open up the right project, right? So that's actually... I'm doing exactly the same thing that I did in that one. Movies folder. All of my video stuff is in that movies folder. Yeah, I don't see what I did wrong. That's fine. And with that, we had joy of having multiple projects open, having multiple monitors. Alright, so the media player is fine. And from event begin play, we want to get that media source. So we need that variable. So let's create a variable, and we're going to call this our media player, and let's type in here media player object reference, and compile and save. The media player that we want to reference is that media player. Let's compost and save, and then we grab our media player, get that reference, and we need to open source. And the selected media source is the Uzi video. Compile and save. Now we do need to add in the media sound component. So let's do a media sound. And the media player that we want to use is our regular media player. Not worried about attenuation right now. Alright. Maps. Test map. There we go. I knew I was forgetting one minor little thing. It was to actually open the source. You guys are going to have to pardon me on the audio. For some reason... Okay, no, I don't want that. I want the plane. No. The widget is actually playing that. And let's turn off our sniffing. I have no idea why the hell my volume is not working. Apparently, every time NVIDIA has a freaking update, So you can see it's playing over there. Alright, that is really freaking loud. Let's go in here and media sound. Let's create we've got attenuation. We can override that, and we'll set that at 800. I really want the volume. Enable volume attenuation is fine. So let's compile and save. Let's see if it overrides that attenuation. Alright, so we can see our radius for our attenuation there. Holy crap. Nope, that's going to be full volume. And that is a problem with my computer with frickin' idiot NVIDIA drivers. I mean, I could always just try to set up an attenuation. Let's see here. Sound attenuation. Screens. Again, we had 800. But that's not going to affect our volume level. Media sound attenuation is fine. We don't want to override. We want to use the new one we created. Concurrency, sound class. Yeah, I don't know why. I've got my sound turned down greatly of my actual output volume, and it is playing absolutely full tilt. Attenuation. It's ignoring my sound attenuation settings. But that's all you needed, though. Why? I don't understand why it's ignoring my frickin' settings. I don't need a damn camera. I need media sound component. Oh, because it's in the widget itself. Let's try actually deleting the widget. Alright, compile and save. There's that. We have the media sound component there. So we still have the sound, but we won't have the video right now. Why are you completely ignoring frickin' sound attenuations? Seriously. It's not just the game itself too, but or the editor, but my computer is ignoring my volume settings. So I've got some major shit going on here. So media player, I mean, it's fine, it's working. Take that plane and let's actually change the material over to the material again and see if we can completely break it. Hey, no we didn't. So go in here. It's working. So again, what did I screw up? It's working as intended in every other project that I've done this in, but in this particular one, it's deciding that it does not want to follow my sound attenuation. Alright, so media player is fine. The where is my file media source? Oh, did I actually put it in another folder? Yes, I did. But that's fine. The render material shows up as white like the other one did. Whatever. It's working. I absolutely am dumbfounded by this bullshit. I'll look at the television one more time and show you what I'm working with here. The TV itself is fine. We've added in the plane, which adds in that. We've got the media sound component, which is that. Allow spatialization. Don't have that checked. Plane. And that was on the media sound, excuse me. Allow spatialization. That's better. So now we have volume control here, but why does my computer still not have volume control? Yes, that's me, the fat kid shooting the Uzi. Yes, I do. I really love that thing. So with that, I mean, we can actually take that and we want that to continuously loop. Then we can go back into our media player. Yeah, media player, and select that and loop. Save, and if we go back in here and play it again, see what happens if it plays through. Alright, so we're out of range of the audio, so we can't hear it. I'll move a little closer. And it just automatically just starts looping through again. Alright, so we'll go back to room 2, and that's the one that's our camera. And you won't be able to see it, but if we went in here with a multiplayer, 2 new pie, and just so you can see here, client jumping, server is here. Yes, the client sees everybody's white, and for some reason it's still screwing up, and it's setting everybody. I'll work on that later, but so let's go to room 1, and let's take our client. That works. So now we can see in our client window that our server is over there. Yay. Live action. So yeah, the sound isn't being screwed over. The client doesn't hear what the server hears. Everything works fine on that. So alright, so that or that, it works. What I will do later on is I will actually break down And since enough people have been asking for me to do shorter, more concise videos, like I used to do on, okay, here's this feature, show how to do the feature, and be done with it. 15-minute videos, 20-minute videos, here's the feature, we're done, gone. And just roll on. So what I may do is I may start doing that again, but that's also going to involve on getting more participation in these streams. If I don't get the participation, then I'm going to start doing less. Alright, so we are going to call the video for here, and I want to thank everybody for watching, and we will see you around.